I want to talk about something that isn't necessarily super useful. I like to make videos that really have a purpose and really help, but I think that mostly this will just help someone feel related to, or help people who don't know what it is like understand that it isn't funny. OCD. I was hospitalized recently, and while there, I guess I was more nervous because, well, there's all these people. It's a very anxious surrounding, and I was influenced by a lot of things and just made incredibly anxious, and OCD is an anxiety disorder. So I had some of the worst OCD moments I have ever had in my life. I was so intensely counting and tapping. I am obsessed with counting and tapping three times three. So I would go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I would have to restart after that, and it would always have to be 3 times 3. And if I would have it off, I would have to fix the mistake by erasing it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And sometimes it felt like I couldn't get the mistake out of my hand. Like the mistake, I had tapped it the wrong amount of times, or I waited the wrong amount of interval between each time that I counted and tapped, or I got distracted and didn't realize how many times I had tapped, so maybe I had done it wrong, maybe I didn't, but maybe I did, so therefore I had to erase it, but maybe the mistake stayed so much in my hand that I had to just scratch at it until the mistake came out, and sometimes the mistake just wouldn't come out, and I would just keep scratching at my hand to get the mistake out of my hand. I know it doesn't make sense. It made sense to me because the mistake was done on my hand with tapping, so I had to get it out and I couldn't. The mistake just stayed there and I didn't know how to fix it and it wouldn't go away. So I just kept scratching, and I think the nurse, he gave me mittens, not mittens, but slippers to put on my hands. And then I was fine with that for a few minutes until I realized there's 2 slippers, 1 on each hand. There should be 3. And so I freak out about the fact that there's 2 slippers on my hand, so I take them off, and then they have to give me more, and I said, no, 3 this time, and he's going to put me on a 4th. I'm like, no, it really has to be 3. So, okay, so now the gloves are on my hand, and I'm still scratching at it. And I think eventually they put bandages on my hand to keep me from scratching it, and that finally did actually work. I was still tapping on my hand until I had to take medication because I was freaking out, and I couldn't calm down, and I had to keep counting and tapping, counting and tapping, counting and tapping. So how was I supposed to stop long enough to take the medication? I didn't know how to stop to take the medication, so it took me some time to calm down a little bit so that I could count. Like, I finished the counting and tapping 3 times 3, then quickly took the pill, threw it in my face, and then counted tapping again. And it was hard for me to even talk other than saying 1, 2, 3. Because I had to be saying 1, 2, 3 and counting and tapping, and if I had waited too much time between intervals, then it was wrong. It was just incorrect, and it had to be correct. It was incredibly distressing.